Regular board meeting, Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017 at 7 p.m. 90 counts on our agenda. It's called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Here. Trustee Wilson.
Here.
Trustee Brooks.
Present.
Trustee McMullen.
Present.
Trustee Payne.
Here.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Here.
And Mayor Covington.
Present. Please join me with the pledge of allegiance. Attached minutes for the board category of regular meeting Tuesday, April 11th, 2017. Is there a motion? Or we want to do all together? Anyone have the opposition of doing them all together? We want to do it. Okay, we'll do all of them together. April 11th.
It's not a good, it's
Yes, ma'am.
25th, it's not.
April 11th, May 9th, and special meeting May 3rd, and May 15th. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee
Second.
Bailey, second by trustee Oscar Brown. Questions, concerns, comments?
Correction, April minutes from April 11th. Action item F2A under the new business. Resolution authorizing acting village manager to accept bid for pre-tenant renovation of Unit 80 Town Center. I voted no instead of abstain.
I have one correction on the May 15th meeting. I made a motion to table, it failed to carry.
Which is, sorry,
On May 15th.
Oh, May 15th, that's correct. It's not in the,
it's not one, number E, new business?
yeah, the,
You made a motion to table
yes,
what?
the item B1A.
Clerk,
I've never been looking for it.
Oh,
is,
it's just not in the minutes.
And it failed to carry.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll make it.
and I just saw this, so anytime I make amendments or changes that are ready to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I make adjustments at another time, because I just saw this, I know what time to go through it. Okay, all right, thank you. Right. Okay. Any others? Roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Wilson.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payne.
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
This time we have general public comments. Sheet been distributed. Did everyone have an opportunity to sign in?
changed my vote. I voted aye, but I wasn't here for the 15th, so
Okay.
I'm going to extend. Okay. I so.
Trustee, Trustee Griffin?
Good evening. Keith Griffin on Clover Lane. I have a problem at the last special meeting. There's two things that were brought up by the mayor. I don't know what to say. To me, I think they were lies. Or because if you can't remember what you did, then that's really mind-boggling. On the, you said that you didn't know about what was going on, and Trustee Payton corrected you on that also. For over a year, the board, myself, Trustee Payton, Oscar Brown, Larry Brown, and Fudez, and myself was here. For over a year, we worked. We brought in people from banking business and lawyers and everything to let us know what our finance or our financial situation was. And you stated to the public that you didn't know nothing about it, you didn't know nothing, it was kept out, which was a total fabrication. You knew about it, everybody else can remember it, I don't know why you can't. Another problem I have, I forgot what lady asked you about the tips. You said you didn't. Again, Trustee Payton, Trustee Oscar Brown, Larry Brown is not here, myself and Fudez, we saw your signature on the wire transfer. So there's no ifs and buts about it. You said you didn't do it. So my question is, if you signing stuff and don't know you're doing it, then it's a serious problem. So my thing is that you lied. Why are you lying? Why did you take money out of the tips without board approval? We didn't know about it. I like that answer. I'm gonna continue to answer that. Because they on us about we did the money, you signed the transfer, we did it. So we'd like to know what you did with the money. And talking about, I just like to ask the board as a whole, I wanna know who's talking. You got Ms. Williams is putting personnel matters on next door. So why is personnel matter being put on next door? So those are my issues.
Okay. To address your question, I will get those as far as there were meetings that I was not aware of, and everybody knows that. I can't prove it, myself. I was not included in several meetings, and that's it. And that's all I can say about that. As far as wire transfers, that's something that there was a transfer, and there were many transfers. I cannot do the wire transfer independently. I cannot move money independently. There's a voice recognition when a wire transfer is done, and it was not my voice. As far as the only transfer that was done was when someone had payroll, and they asked for me to sign it. That account was from general funds to payroll, and that's all I can say about that. Okay, so, I mean, you can continue to see it's like, it's honestly what I've done and what I know, and I have the bank to back me up on it. Okay. The next person. Mr. James Burlington?
Good evening, Mayor, village manager, trustee. First, I want to congratulate you guys on your convention. I see a lot of new faces there. And I can say changes to it. Madam Mayor, what I want to bring to you on behalf of the University of Hartford Baseball Association, which I currently am, for those of you that are new up there, I am the current president of the organization. We received great pleasure in knowing that someone had donated $10,000 to the organization for the purpose of our baseball fields. We're very happy for anyone, any company, corporation, to make any type of donation, because it's not about us, it's about our children who play baseball. The question I'm gonna ask, and several of my board members have, are they assuming is when the village receive those funds, do they go straight to the village treasurer, do they go to the public works department? Because the reason I'm asking, and I was just curious, like to know, when will work be done on those fields, as far as Farmer Park, Credit Park, and Regal Field are concerned? I have several, board members and coaches who are concerned. Yeah, first of all, I asked you about the money that received for the field, and you just been asking me, when are you going to get started to do the work? And I just want, I'm here, just want to find out, the answer.
Sure. Just to let you know, the check was not written to University Park. It was written directly to the company. The company has been out quite a few times. I've sent quite a few emails with you addressed to it and Mr. Stewart. We are at the company's object to come out and do the field. Unfortunately, they've been doing colleges, high schools, and we're waiting on them to come. They were here 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. They were supposed to start work on Friday. It rained.
Okay, I was not made aware of that. You did say that you have sent me emails. You didn't send me any email as far as that was concerned, as far as them coming up here. But in the future, I definitely would like to be keep kept informed.
I've been sending my emails to team services.
That issue is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that big issue.
That is correct. That's fine. By my understanding right now, the work may not get done until after June.
Okay. Because you realize toward the end of June, that's when we have our playoff and our championship series.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Stewart has given me all the information on that. And the contractor agreed with me, he will try his best to work around everything.
Okay. Once again, I definitely appreciate you if you still keep them informed.
I sure will.
Thank you.
All right.
The amount was over $11,000. It's part of the gentleman, he came and spoke to the board to let us know what he was doing, because it was part of his TIP obligations that he negotiated with the previous manager, Dave Litton. And rather than just $10,000, he got a quote on fixing not one field, but all the fields for $11,000. And so he wanted to make sure it went to the right place. We've had a lot of controversy in the past about where the money went, who brought it, and all that kind of stuff. So he elected to just do it directly, pay the company directly. So,
Thank you, Trustee.
Will the village treasurer or the village manager be given our receipts so the TIF money can be appropriated to the correct place? So this company wrote the check directly to the company doing the field work, right? So that's where's the proof to from the village standpoint that this man met his TIF obligation. So are all those receipts with a copy of that check turned over to the village manager so we can prove that the TIF money the TIF obligation was met?
I don't know the TIP obligation. The man came and presented the check a couple board meetings ago, and the company came out. I have a copy of the check, but the company paid them directly, and I just got proof of a copy that it was being paid for.
Per
Trustee?
D, she said it is part of the TIF obligation. And we should get receipts, we should have a copy of the check instead of going straight to the company, the village.
I have a copy of the check showing the outline of the work, yes.
Okay, and there's all receipts, can you make sure the village manager gets a copy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Trustee, let me clarify, because I perhaps misstated. He said that originally there was something that he wanted to do with the village. He couldn't do it via the normal TIP channel, so he negotiated an agreement, kind of a side agreement, with Dave Litton to provide about $10,000 to the village for different projects. Okay, so I don't know if it's written in his TIP agreement, probably not, and that's why he went the extra mile.
I just
But
want to be
perhaps
sure.
that'll come out when the IRS completes the audits of the TIPS agreements.
I just want to make sure that we're on point, right? If money is received on behalf of this village to do something for this village, it should be documented by the village. And if the check went directly to the company, I haven't seen anything showing that this is for the village and this company paid it. And we should have proof of that for the village. So in the event of an audit, we can say this company donated X amount of dollars for baseball, and this is what the money was used for. Thank you.
And this the same individual, this is from Midwest. He, years ago, I remember, as trustee, he had told them he asked for, he wrote a letter to the board and asked that the board earmark his money because he said he did not want it included, be inclusive into the general funds. He told us to open a special account for his donations to go into that. I know that's a long time ago, so I don't know if that's the same guy or not. But that's it.
Thank you.
You will keep your breast on it.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalo Franklin?
Good evening, board, mayor. Congratulate the new trustees to the board. Also congratulate Dr. Mtg. Proud to see homegrown, very brilliant young lady from the village. I want to thank you for coming back and be willing to serve. I want to announce that the yearly Lionheart Strength and Conditioning Camp this year will be hosted on June 26th. Will last for 2 weeks, going until July the 7th. This is a free camp for all youth in the village, age 5 to 14. I just want to spread the word as we get closer to the end of the school year. I'm concerned that we ensure that we're providing positive interventions and opportunities for our kids. So I want to invite all the kids out at the end of the camp to barbecue and feed the kids and pass out school supplies. So it's just an awesome 2 weeks where kids get to learn about healthy minds, healthy bodies, and strength and conditioning. Also, I would like to ask, is there any way that I can begin to access the equipment that we have for the youth? I would be willing to volunteer my time over the summer to spend some time with actually bringing kids in and teaching them physical activities and different things. I know we have some pretty good equipment over in one of the units, so I would just want to ask, is there any opportunities that can begin to bring the youth in so that they can begin the strength and conditions training with the equipment that we have? Thank you.
Mr. Franklin, yes, I'll be with you on that, Ms. Manager, because I showed it to you that time it was. We were really intrigued with it, and I think you do need to use it. So I don't see why, because it's paid for, and you should be able to use it with the kids. And I just want to salute you for what you do. I've seen your Facebook, what you're doing with our children in this village. And as always, I donate and I will donate again. And now we've had some people in the industrial park, and they are really willing to help out. They want to do a banner, and I'll give you their contact to help you make donations. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Ms. Gina Williams?
I'm sorry, please speak. Mr. Franklin, where will the barbecue or
It'll
be held?
It's in Palmer Park.
Palmer Park.
Yeah, and it's from 5:30 to 7 for the 2 weeks, and then the barbecue will be on July the 8th, and that'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna try to have y'all.
Same place?
Yes, same place.
You have flyers for that?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Ms. Williams.
That's okay. Good evening, everyone, and again, greetings to the new manager. I really had questions for the RH, but they're not here. I do want to, again, report, 4 years that I put in for, have not received. It's been at least 2 weeks, I haven't gotten a phone call or anything. There was one back in January that I received in part. And when I did put in a request again for it, Justilia fulfilled part of my request, but she even wrote on my envelope that she would, she wrote on there that I was getting it in part, and that's been maybe about two weeks and a half ago. So I'm just wondering, maybe, I didn't know you all were getting that many requests.